Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to our Get Astrologic Now YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about Mercury retrograde. Right now, we're in a very intense period of time because we have both Mercury retrograde and it's right around the time of the eclipses. We call this the eclipse season because right now we're in between the lunar and the solar eclipse. So Mercury turned retrograde on October 4th. And it will continue to be retrograde till about October 24th. And during this time, you can expect for things to go haywire, to lose things, to have miscommunications, and particularly be careful around traveling. I'm going to give you some explicit dates with this because Mercury, in its process of going retrograde, on around October 17th, it enters into the sign of Virgo. And while it's in Virgo, it is exalted, meaning it is all the more powerful in this sign. And as it backs up, it's going to back up and it's going to conjoin Rahu. It's going to conjunct Rahu at 25 degrees of Virgo. And this will occur around October 31st and November 1st. This is an incredibly intense time. And if at all possible, I would avoid traveling. And I would avoid making major decisions because you see, Rahu is extremes. Rahu deals with epidemics and fear. And in the sign of Virgo, which is the sign, by the way, that rules health and healing, we're going to have many fears around disease potential. And that definitely has already been activated. But I don't think it's over. Because during this eclipse season, remember this, that eclipses are where the sun and moon come together with Rahu and Ketu, the nodes of the moon. And so this becomes a time of intensity. And the lunar eclipse is a full moon that is tied up with Rahu and Ketu. And this particular lunar eclipse is with Ketu. The full moon is with Ketu and with Uranus. So this was a time which this lunar eclipse, we just had this lunar eclipse occur, and at this time we have got major things happening that are of utmost surprise because Uranus is the planet of surprises and unexpected. And with Ketu, this can deal with great losses. And the full moon means it sheds light on something. The light has just been shed onto something that we didn't know about. And I think particularly it's got to be related to this disease potential that we're faced with, this possible epidemic with Ebola. So with that, as we have Mercury retrograde at the same time, it's coming together with Rahu. Now there's going to be a solar eclipse. It's out of sign with Rahu and Ketu, meaning the new moon is in Libra, but Rahu is still in Virgo. But this solar eclipse, this will occur around the 23rd of October or 24th. And at this time, you're going to see where there's great fear again. So we're right in that window of what we call the eclipse season. But pay attention when Mercury comes together with Rahu on October 31st and November 1st, because this is going to be the most intense time of this whole cycle. And I'm thinking that it may have something to do with possible terrorist activity or something around travels and airplanes. And of course, it is a treacherous time dealing with disease and problems around the world. So you see, this Mercury retrograde has brought up something of utmost importance that we need to pay attention to, review and analyze, and it's about health and healing. So with that, I want to also bring in how this may be affecting you on a personal level according to your ascendant sign, moon sign, or sun sign, but particularly your ascendant if you know it. And I'm talking about, once again, the Vedic sidereal chart. So if your ascendant is Virgo, this is going to be really intense for you, and you are being it's been brought to your attention many areas of your life that you have to reassess and reanalyze, but it's basically about you and your life and your physical being and your health. So if your ascendant is Libra, this means that this Mercury retrograde is in your 12th house. So this is hidden things that have come back from your past that you're here to reanalyze and look at. And it, like I said before, remember, this is an intense Mercury retrograde, so pay attention. If your ascendant is Scorpio, this means that Mercury is in your 11th house. This can mean old friends come back and you will have new acquaintances and new reunions with people of your past. If your ascendant is Sagittarius, this means that Mercury retrograde is in your 10th house and it's time to reassess your job. I think you may be thinking about that you're not so happy with your job and the type of work that you're doing, your occupation, so you may be reassessing this in a certain way. Remember, Mercury's always about review. If you have Capricorn as your ascendant, this means that Mercury retrograde is in your 9th house and you may be going over some of your belief systems, your philosophies, your spirituality in life, how you think about your life in terms of your belief systems. That could be a time of review and reassessing things. You may be changing the way you think about this. If your ascendant is Aquarius, this means that Mercury is retrograding through your 8th house. This is a time of deep introspection. It's a time that you're doing a lot of research, reanalyzing things, and this can definitely be from areas of your past. If your ascendant is Pisces, then this means that Mercury retrograde is in your 7th house and you're having second thoughts about relationships. You're having second thoughts about your partner and how they should be conducting things in your life and how they relate to you. Remember, there could be misunderstandings concerning some communications with your partner. If your ascendant is Aries, this means that Mercury is in your 6th house. And this would mean that it's time for you to reassess your health and your habits and to really maybe get rid of some old and bad habits. This is a great time for you to reanalyze this. So if your ascendant is Taurus, this is a time for you to rethink things. So this means Mercury's in your 5th house. The 5th house deals specifically with your thoughts, your ideas, and your mind. If you have Gemini as your ascendant, this means Mercury's in your 4th house, and this means it's time to redecorate, reorganize things in your home, and possibly rethink about your ideas about changing your residence in your home. If you have Cancer as your ascendant, this means Mercury's in your 3rd house. This is a time to really analyze those trips you may be planning. It may not be a time for travel. And if your ascendant is Leo, this means Mercury's in your 2nd house. And this is a time to reassess your finances, your spending, and what you're going to be spending money on. Take a second look at that. So with that, that should give you a clear perception on how this Mercury retrograde is going to affect you. And if you would like a personal reading from me, you can go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Thank you.